the Lok Sabha elections in 2024, the opposition or the INDIA bloc thought of continuing the momentum with Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir, and had the results in both Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir gone their way, then all across North India would have been opposition-driven governments except for Uttarakhand. Well, an upbeat Congress was hopeful of comfortably getting 60 plus seats in Haryana, and that's what the pollsters also showed or indicated. Its performance in Jammu was expected to be par with BJP. So if the National Conference was going to pull its weight in the Kashmir division, Jammu division was supposed to be shouldered largely by the Congress party. But the results turned out to be quite a migraine for the Congress. The Congress has even refused to accept this verdict. They have gone back to the Election Commission, and this time it's about the battery strength of the EVs. 60% to 90%, and that's where they have found fault. They claim that the EVMs have been tampered with, only in seats which they have lost. Whereas the numbers show that among the tight fights, they have won at least 70% of the tight fights compared to the BJP, over the BJP. That is a margin of less than 2,000 votes. So why these things is something which many would turn around and ask. But clearly, this entire aspect of election denial, when they lose and refusing to accept defeat gracefully, are some things which are now being asked of the Congress party. Haryana results not limited to the state alone. Congress's performance all set to cast its shadow or have a knock-on effect in Maharashtra. The BJP's performance, can it have a knock-on effect not just in Maharashtra but also Jharkhand and neighboring Delhi? All going through polls in the next 6 months. Now in these three states, the Congress needs regional chhatrap. So in Jharkhand, they have to rely on the JMM. In Maharashtra, it has to be the Sharad Pawar-led NCP plus the Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray Shiv Sena. Can it do without them? Can it think that it is still the big brother? In Delhi, anyway, the AAP has said no truck with the Congress at all, so they'll have to go it all alone. Congress facing flack from its allies. The Indie bloc, a lot of them, including the Trinamool, there was comments that came from the Aam Aadmi Party, there are comments that have come from some of the other parties too, blaming the Congress's arrogance and the sense of entitlement and overconfidence. That's what caused the Haryana debacle. The results also echoing on ground. While power struggles in Maharashtra, Congress prompt a call for unity and collective action. In Uttar Pradesh, the Samajwadi Party has declared its candidates for the 6 seats for the by-polls. Even Prime Minister Modi accusing the Congress of dividing Hindus and indulging in hate politics, saying they always talk about Muslims in caste divisions but never talk about the caste politics that exists among the Hindus in caste divisions but never talk about the caste and the sectarianism among Muslims. Prime Minister also dubbing the Congress as a parjivi or a parasite, dependent on its alliance partners, sucks the blood from them but never contributes to their growth, ends up swallowing them. The question we ask, has the Congress become a danger or again a liability for its allies? Has its overconfidence come to hurt it? In the 2 state election results that have just happened, has the Congress's stature reduced within the Indie bloc? And what is the knock-on effect that it will happen going forward into Maharashtra, Jharkhand and Delhi? Shazia Almi, national spokesperson of the BJP with us. Lokesh Jindal, leader of the Congress with us. Mahesh Chavan, spokesperson of the NCP Sharad Pawar faction with us. And we also have Chaitanya Singh, spokesperson of the NCP Ajit Pawar faction. My namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Thank you very, very much. Multiple points to talk about, but more importantly, the impact of Haryana going forward into the forthcoming elections. We are hoping and expecting the Election Commission to actually announce the dates for Maharashtra very soon, perhaps even before the weekend. Shazia Almi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi saying Congress parjivi hai, step 1. 2, it plays the game of divide and rule. Hindu ko baatne ka kaam, and whereas not making these sectarian differences among Muslim society. How true or false is it? Or is this the counter to the vote jihad call that was made by some of the INDA alliance leaders, saying that you have to use the vote as a weapon to defeat the BJP, so consolidate your votes. And that's what was also seen, Muslim votes consolidating against the BJP. So is this the counter to that, ki batenge to katenge?
Well, this has been the crux of Congress philosophy, and they've learnt well from the colonial masters, divide and rule, and this is exactly what they've done. So whether it's Kamal Nath who says in Madhya Pradesh सब मुसलमानों को एक साथ लड़ना है, or is Rajiv Gandhi who overturns the Shah Bano verdict only to please the Muslim clergy, or it's Manmohan Singh who says the resources of India should go to Muslims alone because they are the most deserving of it, or it's Rahul Gandhi who says jitni abadi utna haq and what have you. So you've seen it many times over and over again. Now by always using, and also this whole idea of vote jihad, you know that every Muslim's job is to do vote jihad, to protect his political and religious identity and therefore vote for Congress party. This has been the bane of I should say the minorities, especially the Muslims and only the Muslims in India. Now now something very specific. Prime Minister is absolutely correct. So when Rahul Gandhi defies his own father, grandmother, great grandfather and talks about Jat Paat, he knows that he has no card left but to divide the Hindus, because clearly his entire vote bank has become Muslims. And let me tell you, now they are gloating about the vote share. Let me tell you, there's very little difference, you'd say. But can I tell you, the Haryana vote share, most of it comes from Muslim dominated seats. So Aftab Ahmed from Noo, or Mamman Khan from who's won very well, Muhammad Ilyas from Punahana, and Muhammad Israel from Hathin. Now if you take these four away, the difference is a lot, and the difference then becomes, right now the difference is 39.94 and 39.09, which is what they're gloating over. But if you were to take these four constituencies away, the Muslim constituencies, you know, it widens to 41.21 for BJP and Congress 38.15. That just goes on to show and explains why Rahul Gandhi has stopped temple hopping, why he's not talking about the Janeyu, why he stopped talking about the Gotra and what have you, why he is with parties who hate Sanatan, because this is the same divide and rule policy. But here also he finds himself on a back foot, so he wants to divide the Hindus. So Muslims के तो वोट मिल गए नफरत फैलाकर, लेकिन this fake मोहब्बत की दुकान में तो झूठ का सामान ही मिलता है. And that Fareeb is being called out now, which is why everybody has rejected him. And this is why he's being called out and he's become the biggest liability for India Alliance.
All right. Lokesh Jindal, please counter that, and then we'll take this conversation forward into Maharashtra. Yes, Lokesh Jindal.
Well, Shazia ji gave a lot of rhetoric and she accused Rahul Gandhi of doing a lot of disservice. But then, madam, you must know that inclusive growth, equity has not just been the chief fundamental principle for the Congress, but it has also been upheld in the Constitution of India. If Rahul Gandhi takes a stand for those sections of society who are marginalized and who are the downtrodden, he is not dividing the society. Rather than that, he is consolidating the society. And why only Hindus should unite? Why not the entire India should unite together? We do not have an India that is divided on religious lines. So why only a unity call for the Hindus? Why not for the entire India? And what you are claiming that there were sections which voted for BJP. So let me tell you, there were various constituencies, regions which you won in the parliamentary elections 2024, and these regions you have lost in the present elections. For example, the region of near the Ambala area, that entire region became blue. When we are talking about the region in the central of Haryana, even that region Congress made significant inroads. There was a certain mistake. I would say there was a certain planning glitch. As I repeat again, that Congress, if it would have reached out to the Ahibs, it would have performed better. And then with respect to the ticket allocation, but then I don't see that there was a complete failure of the Congress. Things could have been done better, but trying to draw a generalization on the basis of Haryana elections and equating it with Maharashtra, I would say is inexperience and no information about what happens in Maharashtra.
Okay, yeah, here is the one objection, observation, intervention I'd like to make before we bring in our panelists from Maharashtra and take this conversation forward. When Mr. Rahul Gandhi talks about caste census, he only asks Hindus what their castes are. He doesn't ask Muslims what their castes are. He doesn't insist that the caste census should be done across the board irrespective of what religious belief you have. He doesn't ask Christians to identify themselves with castes. He doesn't look at the various sectarianism and call out whatever discrimination happens between the Sayyids, the Ashrafis, the Pashmandas, the Ahmadis, etc. within the Muslim sectarianism game that happens. He doesn't talk about that. So that's the reason why the allegation has been made that he doesn't talk about unitedly. He talks about one grouping, religious grouping in one form, that is Muslims, but he does, and he talks about Hindus and castes only based on the Hindu religion, on the Hindu way of life. And he doesn't talk about sectarianism, casteism among Christians. Why are there Dalit churches separately for Christians? In Tamil Nadu, 40% of the Christians are Dalit Christians. Why are they called Dalit Christians? Why did not Mr. Rahul Gandhi try to divide Sikhs by calling them Jat Sikhs and Dalit Sikhs and highlight Charanjit Channi as a Dalit? So wasn't there the Dalit card played among Sikhi to try and divide Sikhs? And now you're talking about individual grouping. So I'm just saying, when it is convenient, you break it down, you break down into sectarianism. When it is convenient, you want the votes to consolidate and you create one single identity. How is this an equanimous argument in terms of politics is concerned and in terms of your plank? You said Indians, right? You said yes. Indians. Then he doesn't say Indians. He asked a journalist on the middle of the street, what is your surname? And he said, तुमको नौकरी इसलिए मिले तुम्हारा surname ये है. Did he tell a single Muslim that तुम्हारा नाम, तुम्हारा surname ये है, Ansari, Qureshi, whatever, etc. Has he ever done that? So then who's playing the divide and rule game?
I'll answer. Anand, if you look at the Mandal Commission judgment of the Supreme Court, over there the Supreme Court stated that with respect to the Hindu society, caste can be used as a medium to identify the socially and educationally backward sections of the society. And with respect to the minority, religion was permitted.
Something that was delayed by Rajiv Gandhi by 10 years. Yes, something that was delayed by Rajiv Gandhi deliberately for 10 years.
Madam, now it's my turn.
10 years
Allow me to answer.
No, VP Singh. VP Singh came to.
No.
You're quoting that. Do you know you're working against yourself? No, my dear friend, you're on the wrong side. You're working against yourself.
Okay, 1 minute. Let's not.
Do not get embarrassed.
Okay, I think the point.
He's spoken a lot.
Okay.
But does he know? Does he know basic history? Does he know basic history?
I think he does. I think he does. I think he does. Yeah, okay. I think he does. I think what Saze Almi is trying to remind you, Lokesh Jindal, that the very judgment that you are quoting was the one that was not recognized or not accepted by Rajiv Gandhi. Mr. Rahul Gandhi's father for a decade denied and did not accept that because Mr. Rajiv Gandhi's position was different.
Rajiv Gandhi was no.
No.
When was Mandal judgment given by the Supreme Court, madam?
So what I am trying to tell you is that
1992.
You don't know anything, Lokesh.
Let's not go.
Don't know much. So keep it quiet.
Shazia, tell me where is the Mandal case?
If he doesn't know basic history, what is he saying?
Sir, madam, oh my God.
Okay. 1 minute. The very Supreme Court, the very same Supreme Court said that 370 should be abolished and it upheld the abolition of 370 as the Congress party accepted that. The very Supreme Court came out and gave out so many other judgments. Did the Congress party uphold that? It has not upheld. So when it is convenient, you are sorting a judgment, when it is not. I am asking you in terms of Raja, realpolitik, what does this mean? Let's take the conversation forward. We'll park this argument here for the moment. Chaitanya Singh and Mahesh Chavan very patiently waiting. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate your patience. Let's now understand the dynamic in Maharashtra. Now, Mr. Mahesh Chavan, would you agree that the Congress was trying to flex its muscle post Lok Sabha and now it will have to give and understand that it is going to ride pillion to the likes of the Sharad Pawar NCP and the Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray Sena in Maharashtra in these 288 seats?
Anand, firstly, let us accept, we accept the mandate given by the people in Haryana and secondly in Jammu and Kashmir. Before coming to Maharashtra, I would like to bring to your notice that no one is talking about Jammu and Kashmir. BJP is not talking about Jammu and Kashmir. Only Haryana is spoken about. But after abrogation of 370, Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir, what results they have got? We must talk on that also. Coming back to Maharashtra,
No, sir,
I don't
in
think...
Jammu and Kashmir, then, sir, you should say that Jammu has upheld and rejected the Congress and National Conference. It's given 29 seats to the BJP, whereas Kashmir has also rejected the Congress and it has upheld the National Conference. So what has happened in Jammu? So Congress has not been able to win even one. It's won only one seat out of 43 in the Jammu region. So the Congress has not performed.
Let's not talk independently about Congress. Let's talk
No,
about India bloc. And if you are talking about Jammu and Kashmir separately, again, it is something like, polarization. So we don't.
But that's the verdict. That's how the numbers have come.
Yeah.
That's how the number. And the BJP has polled nearly 2 lakh votes in Kashmir. Across the 20 odd seats that it's contested, the BJP has polled 2 lakh votes in Kashmir. So that's also a fact. Okay, but let's go on. Yes, let's move forward. Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, in Maharashtra, the things are different. And within MVA, all is well. There is no problem. The importance is given to the elective merit and winnability. So it is not a question who wants more seats or who wants the share, more share. It is all about the winnability and, as I said, about the elective merit. And we are pretty confident about it that we will get good support from the people of Maharashtra. And if you look at the problems in Maharashtra, of course, those problems are there in Haryana and Jammu Kashmir as well. If we talk about the inflation rate or about the unemployment rate. But other than that, in Maharashtra, we have law and order problem. You might be
I understand all that, sir. But in terms of the dynamic, who calls the shots now? Do you believe the regional parties in Pawar Sahib and also Uddhav Thackeray will have a far greater say than a Rahul Gandhi and Ramesh Chanitala?
See, basically, it's an alliance in Maharashtra. And we respect each and every party who's a part of our alliance. And there is nobody who will be calling the shots. As I said, the basic motive is to get BJP out of the power, and for that, what is required is the winnability of the candidate and elective merit of the candidate. Let me
further rephrase this, since you're going to hold on to your line. 288 seats, will 80% of the seats will it be between the NCP and UBT, and 20% will it go to Congress now? Earlier, it was looking like they were asking for at least 33% of the share.
Definitely not. If you are talking about backdrop of Haryana, one thing I would like to say here is that in Haryana, Congress has retained its 37 seats. Last also term, they had 37 seats. BJP had 48. This time also, BJP had got 48 seats only. So there is no big defeat of
the
Congress.
Difference is, sir, last time
Haryana.
BJP came in with the help of JJP. That was the allegation कि आप स्टेपनी लेकर के अंदर आए. इस बार BJP ने खुद ही जीत लिया 48, and that too 10 years of anti-incumbency के बावजूद जीता अकेले. Sir, I am asking Maharashtra, अभी आपका पलड़ा थोड़ा भारी होता है कि नहीं? हाँ बोलिए ना, उसमें बुरा क्या है? There's nothing wrong in that.
No. We don't want to do that. MVA, we are doing fine. We have got good coordination. So we are fine with this. So
Chaitanya Singh, how does this change the Mahayuti? Why was it that it was Devendra Fadnavis who was the first to celebrate Haryana victory? Why was it so important to win Haryana for the BJP?
Anand, as you're already aware, Congress party and their whole jing bang have been spreading rumors that the people of Haryana, Maharashtra are angry with the BJP and the central government and whatnot. But yesterday, the reality which has come to light is far away from the rumors that were being spread. So similar rumors were being spread about Maharashtra as well, and in fact are being spread. While every state has its own ground realities, but it will definitely make a dent. It will definitely make a dent to the lobby that is creating such rumors. And trying to make people understand that there are people are against them. You should vote against them. Like Shazia ji was also saying right now that vote jihad and whatnot was they were trying to prop up. So Maharashtra will be no different from that. And as far as the Mahayuti is concerned, they're working for the welfare of the people. The Ladki Behan Yojana is doing tremendously well. The farmer electricity bills have been waived. Farmers are being given loans within a 50% share of the state government, 50% share of the central government. All these things are being done. So we have no doubt that the Grand Alliance is going to do tremendously well. And yes, to an extent, the BJP winning Haryana will definitely have an effect.
To an extent, you have to also underline that the real double engine is BJP plus RSS. That seemed to have worked. 6,000 villages, 16,000 nukkad sabas.
Of course, yes.
तो आप भी थोड़ा सा चैन की सांस ले रहे हैं कि भाई फाइनली हम थोड़ा फाइट में आ गए हैं. ऐसा नहीं लग रहा है आपको?
No. We will always win in the fight. Like I said when I started the debate, that these are just rumors. The reality is before the public, before the country. The people are very smart. They know.
Sir, the reality is that Lok Sabha elections, the Congress had the best strike rate and the BJP had the worst strike rate. The reality is that the vote consolidation happened in favor of the opposition phenomenally. The vote consolidation in favor of the incumbent did not happen in the Lok Sabha.
It may not have, but then how is there a BJP government in the center?
Huh?
How is there a
I'm
NDA
talking
government
purely
in the
Maharashtra. I'm talking Maharashtra. I'm talking
Yes,
Maharashtra. 48 seats of Maharashtra. It's the second largest contributor to the Lok Sabha, sir, after UP. And the two largest contributors, यानी कि UP plus Maharashtra is 128 seats. और वहाँ सबसे ज़्यादा NDA को झटका लगा, BJP को भी झटका लगा.
If the case in point is Haryana and Maharashtra, then even in Haryana, Congress won 5 seats out of 10. But has now Congress formed the government in Maharashtra? No. There may be some issues of the ground because of which there was a loss of certain seats. But as far as the state elections are concerned, we are very, very certain that people are going to choose the Grand Alliance.
So somewhere within the Ajit Pawar faction, you are a little relieved कि भाई हमने वहाँ परिवार टूट गया, दल बदल दिया, फिर भी चलेगा, कोई चांस तो है अभी.
No, it's not that. The very fact. No, let me complete. Please understand that this alliance was formed basis issues. The party, the cadre of the party, majority of the leaders of the party, they wanted to work for the people. That is the reason they joined the government. So whether they are relieved or not relieved, they're always relieved.
Sir, you will continue to work for the government only if the voter votes you back in the next 1.5 months. So I am just asking you whether or not are you having a rethink or a revisit about that, और कि हरियाणा जीत गया, चलो भाई अब थोड़ा मोमेंटम मिल गया, थोड़ा सा आगे खींच लेंगे गाड़ी. Is that the feeling?
It is our welfare policies and schemes that will take the momentum forward and not all these things.
Sir, your smile when I made this comment and Mr. Chavan's reaction when I made this comment itself shows that. Shazia Almi and then Lokesh Chandra. Yes, Shazia Almi.
So Anand, I want to say one thing here, that you are quoting Lok Sabha and what happened there. And what kind of rumor mongering was on. And I think it gets called out sooner or later. When you get so much into this vitriolic, divisive politics, and that's all people see, you get found out. And somewhere good governance works. There's only this much you can do to undermine that and play the identity, Jat and Path. There's a limit to it. You see what has happened in Karnataka. People can see what's happening in Himachal. It gets found out. You see already what's happening in Telangana. So somewhere that is also a factor, that eventually people get to know that this is the truth and the false narrative does not work. And also I'd like to correct and go back to Lokesh. You represent Congress party. You should know that Mandal Commission recommendations came in 1980. Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister 84.
Madam, Mandal case is 1992.
And he died in 91. So he...
Madam, Mandal case judgment is 1992. Please get your facts right.
1980, my dear friend, 10 years it was denied. VP Singh.
Madam, I am talking about the Mandal case judgment by the Supreme Court.
One is Mandal recommendations, the other one is Mandal Commission recommendation. You are talking about Supreme Court judgment on Mandal Commission that came in 92. Mandal Commission recommendations came in 1980.
I am talking about the Supreme Court judgment.
So I'm just saying,
which was
between
put on
80,
the back burner.
Yeah, it was put on the back burner, and that's why the courts were knocked.
Listen, let me say, yes. And VP Singh implemented it, and 89, and in fact he gave a speech, it's a famous speech, 84 to 89, the entire recommendations of
the irony is
were put on the back burner.
The irony is that Mr. VP Singh himself refused to get treated by a doctor who had come by the same reservation that he had fought for. So that's the anecdote about it, but that's a different matter. Let's come back to Maharashtra. Lokesh Jindal, your thoughts on Maharashtra? What's going on?
He refused dialysis by...
Anand, if we talk about Maharashtra, there are certain serious issues where the BJP government is at the back foot. first of all, we talk about the farmers. Now, BJP banning the export of onion. BJP.
Lokesh, allow me this small intervention. Who's on the back foot within the Aghadi first?
Well, the Aghadi alliance is on the entire alliance is on the front foot.
Who's within the Aghadi? Somebody's in the back foot. उतना मान तो लो. हरियाणा के बाद हरियाणा और जम्मू के बाद कोई तो बैक फुट में है. Within the Aghadi.
महाराष्ट्र की अगर बात करते हैं, विदर्भ की
100 सीट से वो 100 सीट 120 सीट का डिमांड से कहीं ना कहीं वो 60-70 सीट तक आ गया ना. 30-35 सीट से तो बैकफुट पे आ गया.
Anand, we are being unfair.
Okay. It's my job to push you a little, so I'm doing that, but you have to accept that. See, Mahesh Chavan is already smiling there. See?
No, I would just give you the clear picture. You will be able to realize that indeed it's BJP at the back. See, the BJP, it has banned the export of onion, sugar, and this has led to resentment amongst the onion and sugarcane farmers. And import of palm oil, it has led to resentment, especially amongst the cotton and the soybean growers. So when we talk about the entire Desh region, the Marathwada and the Desh region, Nandurbar region, so over there is a tremendous anti-incumbency and resentment against BJP amongst the farmers with respect to the Vidarbh area. See,
but these are all aren't these all supposed to be strongholds of Sharad Pawar and his team, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray and his team? So does the Congress have much role to play in these regions that you're talking about?
Congress has a stronghold in the Vidarbh region. If you talk about the parliamentary elections also, in the Vidarbh region, Congress had swept the polls. And even this time, in the entire Vidarbh region, Congress is going to perform wonderfully well.
तो विदर्भ तो आप ये मान के चल रहे हो कि विदर्भ की सारी सीटें कांग्रेस को मिलेंगी. महेश चौहान, is that true?
No, I don't think Lokesh is trying to say that. Definitely, they are strong. If you look at the Lok Sabha election results, so they are strong there in Vidarbha. We are strong there in Pashchim Maharashtra, Western Maharashtra and Marathwada. So like that in Konkan and other regions, Mumbai, Shiv Sena is obviously strong. So this is what we are trying to say, that the preference would be given to the winnability and elective merit. If Congress has more candidates who have got good elective merit, of course they will be chosen.
So Vidarbh contributes what, 65, 70 seats to the 288 assembly?
Yes.
देखा लोकेश जिंदल?
No, so we have certain areas, Nanded
तो मैंने आपको 60-65-70 पे आके रुक गई स्टोरी मैंने बोला तो आप मना कर रहे थे. स्टोरी वही रुक गई ना.
No, again in the Nandu.
तो आप पश्चिम महाराष्ट्र और कोंकण मुंबई में तो नहीं मिलेगा वो आपको.
No, ऐसा नहीं है. We will have a equitable form of a seat sharing, one third going to all. That's going to be in a very equitable manner. It's going to be decided and it will also consider all.
Mahesh 100 seats they are asking. Mahesh
the discussions are on. Don't worry. Shortly it will be announced. We are not worried about that. How many seats? What will see? If you look at that, during Lok Sabha elections, NCP Sharad Pawar, we got only 10 seats, and we were happy with that. We got 8 out of 10. So Shiv Sena was given 21, Congress was given 17. So there is no issue.
But that is because it was Lok Sabha. Now it is Vidhan Sabha. In Vidhan Sabha, Sharad Pawar, NCP will have a point to prove, and you will know that Pashchim Maharashtra gets at least 125-130 seats to the Vidhan Sabha, compared to Vidarbh, which gives about 70-75 seats. So, and then you just now described who's strong where, and then Lokesh Jindal is saying one third. So clearly, अभी हरियाणा के बाद Congress cannot say one third. इतना तो आप मानेंगे ना?
Anand, this is to be decided by our senior leaders. They are doing that. They have had many rounds of meetings. So now you are pushing me to a back foot. So don't do that.
No, I'm not pushing you to the back foot. But Ajit Pawar faction, we should be worried. Eknath Shinde should be worried. Because BJP after winning Haryana will not agree on one third in the Mahayuti. Chaitanya Singh.
Exactly.
Look, let me tell you very frankly, these are decisions that are taken by the senior most leaders of the party, and the only criteria is one that every party has its, like you rightly said, has its strongholds and constituencies, and winnability is the only criteria. So whether or not it's going to be in whatever fashion,
when we
the division
spoke
is going
with
to be
Devendra
done.
Fadnavis, I had the conversation. He said 200 सीट पे हमारी बात बन गई है. 88 सीट्स डिसाइडेड था, टू बी डिसाइडेड था. 200 सीट डिवाइडेड बाय 3 आप पकड़ लीजिए कितना होगा. 65 सीट सबका पकड़ लीजिए, ठीक है. बाकी 88 सीट्स अब तो मुझे नहीं लग रहा है अजीत पवार फैक्शन को कुछ आने वाला है वहां पर.
No, I am not going to comment upon that. But this will be made public very, very soon. The deliberations are on, and the leaders will
This is one
definitely-
place where Shazia Almi is not intervening. She's just listening. Shazia Almi? All right.
Because there is so much up in the air, you see. It's so difficult to say now. But clearly, all the entire India Alliance really does believe and is stating it unambiguously that Congress is indeed a liability. That much I can say, and it's for everybody to see. And
it may not apply to the caste census.
Imagining this.
It may not apply to the caste census, but what Rahul Gandhi says, जिसकी जितनी संख्या भारी, does matter in terms of the seat share allocation. That the politicians are or the parties are going to contest. So jiski jitni sankhya bari will come into play in this one in Maharashtra. It will be interesting. We've not even discussed Jharkhand and Delhi, but Maharashtra is the big game, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Great fun having this conversation. Look forward to many more. I'm going to request Shazia Almi and Lokesh Jindal to stay on. We're going to take a very short break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we turn the spotlight on towards Jammu and Kashmir. What does this mandate do? Is it a worry that there is perhaps a schism between Jammu and Kashmir? And also 5 years down the road in Naya Jammu and Kashmir, has this result cleared the pitch? Stay with us.
Palestinians held a funeral on Tuesday for more than 15 killed in an Israeli attack, which struck a camp for displaced people in Gaza's Deir al-Balah overnight. That's according to Gaza's health ministry. Witnesses said the airstrike destroyed buildings and tents. The air and ground offensive into the territory is ongoing. Residents of Gaza's Jabalia said Israel had sent tanks deeper into their city on Tuesday, advising people to leave while it pounded the refugee camp from the air. Israel has said its attack on Jabalia was an attempt to stop Hamas fighters from regrouping there and staging attacks. Health officials said dozens have been killed in Gaza in the past 24 hours. The armed wing of Hamas and the Islamic Jihad said fighters had attacked Israeli forces in the north with anti-tank rockets, and that there were casualties among Israeli troops. These attacks came a day after the first anniversary of the Israel-Hamas war, which saw Hamas militants storm through Israeli towns, killing 1,200 and taking around 250 hostages, according to Israel's tallies. Israel's retaliatory offensive in Gaza has killed nearly 42,000 Palestinians, the enclave's health ministry says. Most of Gaza's 2.3 million people have been displaced, and humanitarian conditions have deteriorated sharply. Palestinians held a funeral on Tuesday for more than 15 killed in an Israeli attack, which struck a camp for displaced people in Gaza's Deir al-Balah overnight. That's according to Gaza's health ministry. Witnesses said the airstrike destroyed buildings and tents. The air and ground offensive into the territory is ongoing. Residents of Gaza's Jabalia said Israel had sent tanks deep into their city on Tuesday.
Back on, ladies and gentlemen, with a simple, straightforward question. It's a fractured mandate again between Jammu and Kashmir in the Jammu Kashmir Union Territory Assembly polls for the Vidhan Sabha. In this case, what has this done? Has this cleared the pitch, the result? Even though and Umar Abdullah says that he would like to work with the centre, he draws the line between the central government and the BJP, but he'd like to work in the interest. But he continues to underline this entire issue of 370. Although yesterday he said statehood is priority, we'll talk about 370 later. But today he again, while speaking with Zaka, said the same thing. Shazia Almi, national spokesperson of the BJP with us, Lokesh Jindal, leader Congress party with us, Shaila Rashid Chora with us, academician, and Sandeep Wazir, JKNC leader with us. My namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Thank you very, very much. Sandeep, namaste. Congratulations, and JKNC should be ready to form the government, and in all likelihood it will be Umar Abdullah who will be the next chief minister. Now what he says and his point of view, do things try and, is the attempt to try and send things back to 2010, 2014, or is there a real intent to take things forward from here on? Under the tricolour, under one constitution, and for the betterment of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, fully integrated with Bharat. Yes, Sandeep.
We were already under tricolour. There is no question of not being under the tricolour. And Umar Abdullah said after the victory of National Conference, he said that the people of Jammu and Kashmir are one, and maybe we have got more seats from Kashmir Valley, but it doesn't mean that the people of Jammu are not dear to him. He emphasized the need to bridge the gap between Jammu and Kashmir, and he said that the government which he is going to form and which he is going to head will look to every individual in a same manner, and there will be no discrimination between Jammu and Kashmir. I think the statement from Umar Abdullah speaks all. There is no need to explain further.
No, there is a politics of federalism and there is a politics of having your own riyasat and try and act as a sadre riyasat. Which politics is Mr. Umar Abdullah going to follow?
See, the question of 370, that is the core issue we fought elections on, and we still firmly believe that 370 is a very important issue for us and the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and people of Jammu and Kashmir have voted National Conference to take this agenda forward of 370, and one day we'll surely, we want that 370 should return to the state.
You understand, Sandeep Wazir, if you are fighting under the tricolour, then you should not be asking for 370. Because in one country, it should be one constitution, one flag and one law, one law. The moment you start talking 370, you're talking about one nation but two constitutions, one nation but two penal codes. That's where there is a problem. Then it's not Ek Desh Ek Vidhan.
See, the point is that this 370 was given to us by our forefathers. It was promised to the people of Jammu and Kashmir
as a temporary provision.
So
please, I very humbly request you, even for political convenience, don't state things in which are half-baked. 370 was a temporary provision, and that was the agreement.
Yes, correct? I agree. So, yes, I agree.
Is 75 years temporary? Or should 7 years be temporary? What is temporary? Coming to you, Shazam. Yeah. So then when you say going back, okay, chaliye, please complete and then we'll take it forward.
370 surely was temporary, but this should be removed. The 370 should have been removed by the consent of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, by the consent of the assembly, by the consent of the state government. They have done it unilaterally. There is the problem. The problem is they have done it unilaterally. There was no consent of the people of Jammu and Kashmir or the government of Jammu and Kashmir at that time. There is the problem. If the assembly was in session, assembly could have passed it that we no longer need 370, then it was fine for us. But they have unilaterally taken the decision, the government of India,
So you are saying,
gave rise to these questions.
so you are saying that Mr. Omar Abdullah is willing to pass a resolution in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly now, that we hereby pass a resolution which is post-dated, that we will confirm the abrogation of Article 370 as the people of the state. Only thing is, this is our consent pending the fact that the state government should come back and the central government should come back and ask us. Are you willing to do that?
This question is for the government of that time to answer. If the government was in power and the assembly should have been taken into account, then the decision would have been taken that
no, so then this is water under the bridge. So why are you trying to collect the water that's already flown in the Jhelum, collect it back? Shazi Almi, now is this going to be a problem or not? Because Mr. Omar Abdullah said statehood, return to statehood is priority. Return to statehood is a priority. Now Sandeep Wazir is saying 370 is the priority.
I think there is some confusion here. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate Jammu Kashmir NC for having done a spectacular job and for having done so well. So many congratulations. But I think Omar Abdullah has scaled down his promises and also what has been enshrined in the manifesto by his party. When he spoke today and when he was congratulated by the Prime Minister on his commendable performance, what did Omar Abdullah say? He did not talk about 370. He talked about statehood, something that the Prime Minister has already agreed to and has announced several times, and also it has been made a promise and made by none less than the Home Minister way back on the floor of the House. So I think there is a scaling down and dilution of the earlier stand. And he also said, and I wish Sandeep Wazir also listened to the words of his leader more carefully. He said, Prime Minister is an honourable man and सम्मानित व्यक्ति हैं हमारे Prime Minister, and he has promised this, so we will get it. He also said we will want to work with the centre very closely and would not want or expect any hostility. So I think all over.
This is what he told Zaka Jacob, Shazi Almi, soon after he said what he said to the Prime Minister. And I'm quoting this.
Exactly.
Here, no, this is what he said.
Exactly. So I want to just.
On Article 370, I will like to believe that Article 370 will be reinstated. It's our political ideology. We are ready for the struggle. This is what he said. And then he says our relations with the central government and BJP.
Because it's part of the manifesto. So to scale it down will be, but he has scaled down because he doesn't have a choice, because his hands are tied constitutionally. So that is something to be looked at. It becomes a paradox of sorts that you come to power with this in your manifesto and with wanting to talk to Pakistan and resume dialogue and trade. But when after you come to power, you realize, and you realized it even earlier, that there is no way you could do anything about it. So you play ball, and he is ready to play ball, and he stated that. So I don't know how disappointing it will be to the cadres, including somebody like Sandeep, who's still talking about 370. Knowing very well there is no feasibility of it coming back anytime soon or ever. I would say never will it come back. So there is something to be looked at over there.
Okay, Shaila Rashid Shora.
So first of all, congratulations to National Conference. All of my friends in the National Conference, I'm very happy for them. And I'm very happy about the statement that was made by Omar Abdullah Saab. As I now famously had said that Omar Saab is the only gentleman in Kashmiri politics. He has actually proved it by saying that I will be the representative, or NC government will be the representative of even the BJP voters and not just the NC voters. And the Jammu region should never feel that they are not represented. So that's a really good statement. As far as this 370 matter is concerned, the NC is actually counting on Indian National Congress to come back to power at the center and then restore it. However, the problem there is that INC Congress has not put 370 restoration on its manifesto. Problem number one. Problem number two, with the statehood. Anand, most of the, this is a known fact that most of the people killed during the militancy have been NC workers. So I would actually want my NC friends to be seen celebrating and distributing sweets on the streets of Kashmir and not getting killed by terrorists. So I think it is too premature for statehood. Last point, NC has a Ruhullah problem. So NC has an Aga Ruhullah problem. So whereas Umar Saab is trying to take a more rational stand. He is being realistic. He understands it's a union territory. He has to work with the center for the benefit of his people. But if we carefully observe the kind of statements that come from Aga Rahul Asab, they are more separatist and, more Islamist in nature, and they are more like, there is even a threat of like breaking the party in those, in those statements. So he has even said that if the party sort of reneges on its promise of 370 or whatever, then I won't hesitate in parting ways. So those are the problems. So it has an INC problem, a statehood problem, and a ruler problem.
Lokesh Jindal.
Well, Anand, we need to have a clear understanding of what exactly is Article 370. Part 21 of the Constitution included various temporary provisions, not just for Jammu and Kashmir, but also for Nagaland, Manipur, northeastern states. The point is, Article 370 gave a special status to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and Article 370 formed the basis on which Srinagar and New Delhi were to carry out their federal relations. Fair and fine if centre wanted to have more of intrusion into the state's autonomy, but then depriving Jammu and Kashmir of its statehood was something which was very difficult to find out in the Constitution. In fact, I would like to reiterate the question that was asked by Mr. Kapil Sibal to the Honorable Supreme Court, where he asked that where in the Constitution is the power given to the Parliament to deprive a state of its statehood.
Quite rich
Even
coming
Article
from the
3.
Congress party. I don't want to get into the history. The number of times Article 356 has
But
been
the Supreme
invoked,
Court
abused and misused by the Congress party in the past. But in the case of Jammu and Kashmir, there is a lot of water that's flown down the bridge. But I'm just saying statehood is another issue. Statehood is a natural progression, Lokesh Jindal. But trying to go back and talking about Article 370 and 35A is trying to dial back the clock to the days of secession and separatist movements and what kind of bloodshed that Jammu and Kashmir was shown, and playing into the narrative of the enemy. So that there has to be a clear demarcation there. What's the Congress's position there? And Shazi Alvi wanted to say something on the Supreme Court's response to Kapil Sibal. We'll get to that in a bit. Yeah.
The Constituent Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir is not there anymore. So, with respect to the second provision of Article 370, it cannot be applied. So, there is no basis towards application of Article 370 legally or constitutionally. So, that is something that we must understand and accept. The second point is depriving the people of Jammu and Kashmir of their fundamental rights and citizenship rights is something that is worrisome, for which all Indians we must stand together. So for this, it is required that at the earliest, statehood must be restored to Jammu and Kashmir.
No, but that is the intent. I don't think there is any intent to continue on and persist with the union territory status for Jammu and Kashmir even within the government. There are people, these are people, let's not forget our history. These are people like Prime Minister Narendra Modi and all are people who at the peak times of insurgency, secessionist movement and separatism took the tricolour and hurled it, unfolded at Lal Chowk, and that was not because of a political intent, it was a national intent. I think all of us together should understand this, that statehood is something that even I would like Jammu and Kashmir to get back. But the fact is that this whole narrative about 370, 35A is not just dangerous, but it is also going to hurt the people of Jammu and Kashmir more than anybody else. And of course, it's going to hurt Bharat. And that's where I have a serious problem in political parties trying to whip up this rhetoric. And that's unfair. The other thing is it was under Omar Abdullah's rule, and it was Mr. Omar Abdullah himself who has in the past said that 370 is as good as gone because it's been watered down in the erstwhile state of Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh to an extent that it was not relevant. So for him to make that an issue is quite ironic, frankly. Yes, Shazi Almi.
Yes, so first of all, let me tell Lokesh that, again, you're not up to speed about what your party is all about. So while the Supreme Court verdict has sealed the deal, the ruling is there and it is now a law. So even you discussing that means that you have no idea about what the Supreme Court has said and what is the final word on that matter, something that has been accepted by the Congress leaders, the topmost leaders, and they've said that. The second demand of theirs was a return of statehood, which was promised by our party even when the abrogation was being done. So restoration is not on the cards, or so Congress says. So clearly there is a difference of opinion between National Conference and Congress party, because National Conference makes it part of their manifesto when it talks about that it has to restore 370. However, Omar Abdullah has scaled it down, and because he knows there is little something he can do about it, and constitutionally it's not possible, feasible. So he might be challenged. His people will take him up on that. But you must know, Lokesh, that your own party has accepted the verdict because it is now the law. See, so you raking it up now makes no sense whatsoever.
I don't think
even Omar Abdullah may.
See, I don't think either
even Omar Abdullah
Mr. Omar Abdullah, Rahul Gandhi or any other political leader in this country would want a situation which is dangerous for the integrity of this country. Yes, there may be other political issues and we can have political differences.
But Anand, how do you explain? Now, how do you explain the restoration of 370 as an integral part of the manifesto?
That is exactly
why That
is exactly why I am saying that if you are doing certain things or saying certain things because you want to pander to a particular constituency in Kashmir and that's how you're going to get their votes and then slowly twist them over a period of time, then that's a little bit of a dangerous game to play. No, that's a little bit of a dangerous game to play because you have to tell the people the truth. I'm going to come back to Sandeep Wazir on this. Lokesh, please bear with me. I have limited time. I just wanted to ask Sandeep Wazir this. Is there truth in what Shaila Rashid Shora had just said? Is there truth that there is a faction within the NC which is taking a hardliner position, which is taking a slightly pan-Islamist position, compared to a more moderate and a more accommodating and a future, looking forward position taken by, say, an Omar Abdullah?
See, the position Umar Saab took was very fair enough. He said that statehood at this point of time is our main agenda. To get back the statehood for our people is the prime agenda right now. But 370 is also one of our agenda on which we have fought elections also. See, I can explain it. I am sitting in Jammu. I am not a Muslim, but still I personally feel, not being an NC man, NC worker, but as a common man of Jammu, I feel that 370 was beneficial for us. So that's why I feel that privilege which we had is taken away from us, and that too illegally.
Okay,
so I think that
Sandeep Wazir. Okay, Sandeep Wazir, we need to sit and have a long conversation, and perhaps I'll have to come down to Jammu and over a meal have a conversation and to say that how to every non-Muslim 370 was egregious, and even to Muslim women 370 was a deterrent, especially 35A. And we will have a nice conversation on that. I hope you will host me for a meal very soon in Jammu. But for the moment, I have got to wind up, ladies, and to our panelists have to wind up. Thank you very much. Winding up the edition of The Right Stand on that note. Brass tacks after a break.
Lights!
Palestinians held a funeral on Tuesday for more than 15 killed in an Israeli attack, which struck a camp for displaced people in Gaza's Deir al-Balah overnight. That's according to Gaza's health ministry. Witnesses said the airstrike destroyed buildings and tents. The air and ground offensive into the territory is ongoing. Residents of Gaza's Jabalia said Israel had sent tanks deeper into their city on Tuesday, advising people to leave while it pounded the refugee camp from the air. Israel has said its attack on Jabalia was an attempt to stop Hamas fighters from regrouping there and staging attacks. Health officials said dozens have been killed in Gaza in the past 24 hours. The armed wing of Hamas and the Islamic Jihad said fighters had attacked Israeli forces in the north with anti-tank rockets, and that there were casualties among Israeli troops. These attacks came a day after the first anniversary of the Israel-Hamas war, which saw Hamas militants storm through Israeli towns, killing 1,200 and taking around 250 hostages, according to Israel's tallies. Israel's retaliatory offensive in Gaza has killed nearly 42,000 Palestinians, the enclave's health ministry says. Most of Gaza's 2.3 million people have been displaced, and humanitarian conditions have deteriorated sharply.
الأبرار فروق السطاح محرم الدولي يستعملون المدنيين ولا الأطفال المغلبين.
Palestinians held a funeral on Tuesday for more than 15 killed in an Israeli attack, which struck a camp for displaced people in Gaza's Deir al-Balah overnight. That's according to Gaza's health ministry. Witnesses said the airstrike destroyed buildings and tents. The air and ground offensive into the territory is ongoing. Residents of Gaza's Jabalia said Israel had sent tanks deep into their city on Tuesday, advising people to leave while it pounded the refugee camp from the air. Israel has said its attack on Jabalia was an attempt to stop Hamas fighters from regrouping there and staging.
Good evening and welcome to Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. The Haryana shock verdict is having an immediate fallout in the very nature and dynamics of the India alliance. Now, the Congress's poor showing in Haryana is being used as some kind of a cautionary tale, a wake-up call, if you will, by its own allies. Parties like the Sena UBT, the Aam Aadmi Party, the TMC, the left parties, they're all warning the Congress that the Congress party, the grand old party, has to be more accommodative of its allies. It should cut down on the hubris. It should cut down thinking that it is now naturally going to be the beneficiary of anti-incumbency, and whenever the BJP